Now, whether you're working or leisuring from home, the reason why you're there is because we're going through quite an intense and unique time in our existence and our time on the planet as human beings. And, as a result of that, there's a lot of emotional stress, there's a lot of mindset changes and implications that this whole situation is having on people. As humans in our current Western lifestyles, we're not unstressed at the best of times, whether it be work, family, experiences that we have in our lives. There's often a lot going on between the two ears. And so I wanted to do a bonus session on top of the sessions that we've just done on posture, body, movement, nutrition, how to structure your day, focusing a little bit on brainwaves and mindfulness, okay, which arguably, if you ask me, is actually the most important thing, to be able to control your consciousness as a human being, and to make sure you come out of this healthier with a good control system, making the right choices for the rest of your life. Okay, so number one, presence and awareness. I think of this a little bit like starting a day. So from each step you take, we always go out of presence as a human because we're focusing on things, we're thinking about things. The problem with this is that we become either in the future or the past. So to become present and aware of exactly what you're doing, it's not impossible, but it's very hard to stay there all the time. So if you can just continually bring yourself back, make yourself aware that in this moment, I am a person talking to a phone on a tripod in a room. That's all I am. And that's what I'm experiencing for you to get some content that will hopefully give you some value. You might also be putting the kettle on right now, turning the running bath off. And in that moment, whilst you may be thinking about something that annoyed you 5 years ago, or what your business is going to look like, and how educated your children are going to be after 4 months of homeschooling, the reality is that you're not there right now. And so why it may be useful to have a quick think about those implications and to strategize, bring yourself back to the present moment afterwards, because you will notice that as you just become aware of the existence or the setting that you're in and what's going on, the sounds that are currently going on around you, you will actually notice your physical body release, feel a little bit less tense, and your mind start to relax a little bit, your breathing start to slow down, which is really important. Number two, not for everyone, but cold showers, starting the day. Once you've washed yourself, make sure you're clean. If you can whack that water on as cold as possible for a minimum of 30 seconds, ideally up to 2 minutes, which you can gradually build yourself up to if you'd like to, it is a fantastic way of actually working your cardiovascular system. It has a huge impact on your adrenal system, your autonomic nervous system, or automatic we call it, okay, which has a huge effect on your immune system too. Positively, in your cardiovascular system, you've got up to about 70,000 kilometers of vessels, capillaries, arteries, veins. These are actually muscles, and when you experience a cold shower or submersion in cold water, these do contract and relax at work, no different to any other muscle. These are really important to be healthy in all people, and it gives you a great endorphin kick, similar to having a coffee or something. So give it a go, I'd highly recommend it. Number three, meditation. A lot of you might go, boring. And so we have got an example for you if you're busy-minded. But those of you that are new to it and wanting to try it out, I would recommend something like an app, Headspace or Calm, are great ways just to get stuck into a 5-minute meditation even, where you can start to practice some basic mindfulness tips and ways to help yourself out to start to calm the mind and return to the present moment. You can also do much longer ones. Some of you may have also done a lot of meditation, so just a reminder to bring that practice into your day at any point, not just the start of the day. Into your work intervals and breaks is a good time. Also at the end of the day is a good time to stop after a working day. For those of you who say, no, I've got too much of a busy mind, and I can relate to you, I was one of those people once. Something that got me going actually into meditation before I started to do a lot more non-active meditations where I'm not listening to anyone's voice, I'm not physically doing something with my body, is something called the Wim Hof breathing method that a lot of you might have heard me talk about before. The Wim Hof method, it's a breathing technique that this chap called Wim Hof, who's become quite famously known as the Iceman, utilizes and teaches people to utilize. Anyone can do it, and without going too much into it, it's a fantastic way of having a similar effect of meditation. You become very present, very aware afterwards, and it's also very good for your cardiovascular system and your whole nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic, autonomic control too, which isn't a bad thing to be doing. So check that out. I would strongly recommend it. Number 4, having a clear intention for the day. When you start the day, we all have many, many, many things to do. But if you can choose just one thing or one task to focus on, complete or even partially complete, that is your global or your key focus for the day, you will feel content and satisfied in the knowledge that whilst there will always be a list of things to do, that's never going away. Success is actually having a bigger list at the end of the day whilst you've been working than not having one, because the reality is that you're always going to have lists. However, having a clear intention for something that you can be focusing on and chipping away at, if not completing, is going to make you feel so much more successful, so much more content at the end of a working day, and decrease the pressure and the knowledge that whilst there may still be 356 things on your list, that one thing that you focused on has been done. The last thing I just want to touch on is the fact that I believe that we're multi-purpose beings. Whilst you may be working as a chiropractor, a business owner, a lawyer or an accountant, a florist, etc., whatever you're doing for work, that's only one purpose vocationally that you have. You may also be a brother, sister, mother, father, cousin, friend, etc. We all have different purposes, and so someone once taught me that you can both start, finish, and change into different segments of your day using the awareness and presence principles that we talked about initially in a fashion to change your purpose. So for example, if you're finishing the day working from home, you've been hearing your kids doing homeschooling or screaming in the background and you've played with them on your breaks, but you're working as whatever you do. When you finish, try and take a moment that's easier said than done, but it can be done very easily, to actually just go inward and become present on your bodily functions. So do you need a wee? Do you feel stressed, tight, relaxed? Are you thinking about different things? Return back to yourself as an individual before you then go on to your next purpose as a father, mother, etc., human being, into whatever you're doing next in your day. Then you can direct your energy and your focus into that next part of your day and into your next purpose as a human being. Okay, now all of this has a link into our brainwaves. Now, without going too much down the rabbit hole on this one, brainwaves. You would think that alpha would be at the top, but it's not. It's actually beta or beta brainwaves, high beta or low beta, which are basically brainwaves that we're using in our brain function. So the state of our brain's function when we're highly alert. So high beta, we're very alert, either stimulated psychologically and physically. Low beta, you might be working on something. When you're dropping into alpha, you're starting to get more into a right brain creative state where your brain waves are slowing down, and from there you then go into theta, which is a place of a lot of people are trying to get to in meditation, and your bodily functions can start to calm, helps them rejuvenate. There's a lot more presence and focus going on, and there's an increase in consciousness. Sleep levels are kind of like delta and gamma, which are deeper brain waves that you really want to be getting into in your sleep too. The reason why I talk about these brain waves and I bring them up is the more that you are present, the more that you may do activities such as meditation, cold showers, have a clear intention that you complete that isn't too unrealistic or unachievable, and therefore feel that contentment at the end of the day, and the awareness of bringing yourself back to your purpose, and so you're not still in your work mindset when you go back and are with your family. These are all very important things to make sure that you are in control of your brainwaves. It's not easy to be perfect as a human being. I'm far from perfect, but the sooner that you can become aware that there's two types of people. One is in control and aware of their consciousness, their awareness, their mindset, and has an influence over it to be able to control it, bring it back to where they need it to be to perform and experience the life they want. The other person is controlled by their automatic mindset and just goes along with that. There's one of those that I would want to be, and I'm sure there's one of those that a lot of you would want to be too. if you can do things like meditation, presence, and practice some of these principles, you will be taking your focus and your brainwaves into a healthier state for either good, low beta awareness if you're working and you need that concentration, that high level to be able to get through the task, but you can also bring it down to an alpha or theta when you need to just be relaxing, be rejuvenating, be meditating, and into your delta and gammas when you need to sleep deeply to recover and rejuvenate, heal, rest, and repair for your next day. So I hope that's really a quick snapshot into brainwaves and mindfulness, and I hope that's been interesting for you too. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If there's any other topics that you'd like us to do, then let us know, and we'll create some more content for you.